Max, and this is show number 652. Welcome to another Saturday here. Today we actually have a returning guest, Miss Anetta Replogle from Love Las Vegas Realty. So she's got some new digs, and we can't wait to get an update on what she's doing in her real estate career right now and how she's approaching the fourth quarter here of 2021. If you can believe it, we're already in the fourth quarter of 2021. So before we get to all that, though, into Anetta, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas real estate and real estate in general?
I'm going to hide you and put the stats up on the screen really big for everybody and hide myself down here and let you know that we only have 16 days of inventory. That is NG. I know, no good. We only listed 30 homes yesterday, but then it was only 14 that we listed the day before. So at least we've doubled the number of listings that we took in a day. We put 41 under contract though. So there they went, and we closed 64. So far we've done 109 homes in October so far as closings. And a lot of that was of course, the end of the month was Thursday. So some of those closings for the end of September didn't get registered on the MLS till October 1st. So that's why that number is so inflated. Anyway, we are on track to we're way ahead of last year. We were selling 142 homes a day this year, and last year we did 106. But the problem's going to be, where's the inventory? So how are we going to sell homes if we don't have homes to sell? That's the big issue. And not much else that we can say about it, except that I just keep on my daily shows, I keep giving everybody tips. I do my research and find what other people are doing all across the country so that we can get more listings. And let me put this depressing site down there and get you back up here. Here we go. So there's some interesting things that went on this week. Inman News reported, let's see if I can get this so everybody can see it. Redfin CEO Zillow pour cold water on TikTok's iBuyer theory. So here comes Anetta. Let's get her on, everybody, and then we'll get into that. Hold on. All right. Here she comes, everybody. Hi, Anetta.
Hi, Anetta.
So Anetta, I don't know if you saw this, but one of the Las Vegas realtors, Sean Gotcha, that's his name, he's on TikTok. And we're going to watch his 1.5 minute TikTok video that got everybody's attention.
Great.
And he didn't even mention the names here. He didn't mention Redfin. He didn't mention Zillow, but they must have got the message. So let's watch that real quick so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Thank you.
All right, I got to go find it now. Where to go? TikTok, here we go.
My hair is all screwed up because I was running around outside.
Tell me if you can hear it.
Talk about some what ifs. What if there was a company that everybody knew of to look for houses, and everybody goes on there and searches for houses when they're bored and stuff. And so that company, they just sit back and they just collect all the data. They just know what zip code is looking at what zip code and how much those people can afford. Everyone's looking at this one zip code and everybody seems to be able to afford this certain amount. And let's say that billion-dollar company uses that information to go into that zip code and start purchasing houses. Because the people that are selling their houses, even though they sell it for a little bit less sometimes than what the home could actually be worth, and they pay these high fees to this billion-dollar company, it's a convenience factor. So this company's scooping up houses less than what they actually could cost. And let's say that company, that company buys 30 homes within a 2-mile radius. And let's say the price is $300,000. So they buy all of these homes for $300,000. And then on the 31st home, they buy it for $340,000. Even though they know all of the comps. Because most people have to get a loan. And if you get a loan, you have to get an appraisal, which means the appraiser is going to look at what homes have sold in the area for that size and that price per square foot. So They're paying cash. They don't need an appraisal. Why would they pay $340 for this 31st home whenever they've only paid $300 for these others? Well, what that just did is create a new comp. So when they go to sell these other 30 homes, that extra $40,000 that you could say this one sold for $340 just made them $1.2 million off that one neighborhood, because they know from their research how much people can afford in that zip code. Weird. And let's say that then they're going to come in. They bought that home at $340 that still needs work. So they're going to come in and do the good old paint, spackle, and change the carpet and call it a remodel. So now we can sell them for $360. Because we know off of our data, that's how much people can afford. Wouldn't that be weird if a company did that? And then say that this company also starts letting you use their own lenders and their own title and escrow company, and makes you write your contract on their contract, not the one that your state uses. Wouldn't that be a weird world to live in? My goodness, I can't imagine us living in that world. Can you? I've been a real.
All right, I'm coming back here. So that went viral, everybody.
So that's a Vegas
yes, that's
real estate agent.
Sean Gotcha from Vegas.
Oh,
She did
wow.
a great job.
Yes, and so Inman said a recent viral video suggested iBuyers could jack up the prices of homes. One expert called the theory fairly conspiratorial, and iBuyers themselves said they still have a tiny share of the market. Last week, Las Vegas real estate agent Sean Gotcha took on the iBuyers. So in a video on TikTok, Gotcha laid out a hypothetical scenario in which a large unnamed company that everybody's used starts buying up homes in a neighborhood. Okay, so they're going to repeat what we just watched. So then they go on to say what he's describing is essentially the potential for the iBuyer to fix prices. If a company owns all the houses in a given area, that company could arguably set prices for those homes independent of normal supply and demand. If you control the entire supply, the logic goes, people have to pay whatever you want. And then this goes on and on. It's like a 4-page article about all of this. And Zillow pushed back. And in a statement emailed to Inman on Wednesday, Zillow characterized the video as an example of misinformation and falsehoods. The statement continued saying, the simple truth is that through our services and tools, home shoppers have more power than ever before at their fingertips when buying, selling, or renting their home because of the information we make available to them. Like we realtors don't. Are you kidding me? Then they say we pay market value for every home we purchase. That's not true. They pay above market value, but market value is what anybody will pay for a home, right?
Right.
So they're not real. They're like very crafty, and Zillow's always been very crafty. The statement also added that when we looked at homes that sold traditionally after they declined a Zillow offer, we learned that on average, those selling traditionally sold for only almost 1% more than the Zillow offer. So on every home that Zillow buys and sells, we are transparent. The purchase and resale prices are publicly displayed on the property page on Zillow.com. And on one of my shows, I showed everyone how Zillow will buy a home and then they'll put it on the market for more than they paid for it, even though they paid more for it. They'll pay, like he just said, $40,000 more for it. They'll turn around and put it on the market for more after they do that little remodel. I mean, to me, that's price fixing. So iBuyers in Phoenix have 5% of the market, and iBuyers here have 7.5% of the market. Wow. So that's big.
And growing.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's just round it up. We did 39,000 homes so far this year. Zillow did probably 3,000. That's right. A lot. That's a lot of realtors that didn't get paid. That's my beef. And a lot of brokers that didn't get fees from the realtors that didn't get paid.
Right. So
that's hurting the brokers and the agents. And it's making our market inflated. So I don't know. What do you think?
That's actually went into one of my my old neighborhood. I think Open Door bought one of the homes. Apparently the seller needed to move, real quickly. And so I think she got fair value for it. So I don't think they're getting bargain basement prices anymore like they were, 2-3 years ago, because the demand is so hot. But they did buy it for $525, and they relisted it literally right after for $550. And so it's in escrow right now. We'll see what the final closing costs. And the great thing about this is, like, remember, since they don't have to, pay the real estate agent type of fees, that's a built-in, anywhere between 4, 5, 6% that they're already netting, plus on top of what they can get over what they bought the property for. So I mean, if anything, it's interesting, right, to see what's happening. And was he? My question, being out of the industry, is he accurate in saying that they're using their own contracts, not state approved contracts?
Yeah, you can't. If you get an offer on your listing, you have to use their contract. You cannot use the one that LVR and their LVR attorneys created for realtors. You have to use theirs. And within that contract, they remind you that they have a mortgage company and a title company right within the contract that the buyer sees.
Right. So how are they avoiding that conflict of interest? Like, you have to, as a real estate agent, you can't just refer one mortgage company, right? As a mortgage agent, you can't just refer one title company. Like, that takes the consumer choice away.
They say they're just advertising now. Yeah. That's how they got around it, because Jimmy Dague and I talked about it in class, and what happened to us a couple years ago at the tech forum. And then I don't think you were there, but
I'm trying to turn this on. I think somebody's calling me on Messenger. It's like, I'm trying to, sorry. There we go.
So anyway, at the tech forum, we were one of the vendors, and each vendor gets up in front after lunch, and you've got this whole, 300-400 agents in the room. And every vendor gets up to say, visit my booth, da, 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 da. And what did you say, Max? Because we had a booth.
I said what Chase kind of said, right? There's a predator lurking in the tall grass of this, roaring economy that we're doing, that they're going to eventually use the money that, this community has pushed into this company to eventually take away market share, right? If you want to fight back against that, we're in Salon F for freedom. Come to Salon F. And I didn't say a name. I didn't say anything, right? But everybody knows. The fact that everybody knows, and then
everybody knew, and LVR sent an attorney to our Salon F to say, we're going to shut you down.
Right.
And John fought it. John said, "No, you're not.
Yeah,
this is a free country. We didn't say the word Zillow."
Right. Or we didn't say anything that wasn't even true.
Right.
I mean, there was no falsehoods in that. I mean, that's what they were doing. I mean, the funny thing is the Zillow agent or representative who was there spoke before us. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they're tone deaf, because they tried to sell it like this was going to help the real estate agents.
Yeah, they're still trying to do that. So let's move on, because what I've been teaching and preaching my whole September, I've been trying to give agents tips on how to do social media better, tips on how to get listings. The other day we did CMA a day tip. And I think I'm on tip number 4 of 16. So I'm going to run it into October for the first 2 weeks of October to continue to give agents tips on how to build relationships stronger and take over the market from these iBuyers. We have to do it. We have to fight back. Everybody says, well, why doesn't LVR do it? LVR is a company. They're getting paid regardless. We've got to be the captain of our own ship. So Anetta's here because I want everybody to see what Anetta does, because she just about listens to everything I say.
That is true. Oh, there's happy Monday, happy Labor Day, all kinds of great things going on. It's beautiful. We're at the end of the hot weather, thank goodness. And I am doing what are called Popeyes, because I consider like my clients my bosses, and I am always so grateful and thankful because I know that my job truly chose me. And I worked for two of the smartest and best gaming restaurant big bars, and I was a bartender forever here in Vegas, and bosses that taught me absolutely everything. The last person I worked with, when I decided that I wanted to do real estate and construction full time, you know, even though he was one of my dear friends, gave me every opportunity, told me that I was nothing but an effing bartender and that I'd be back, that I was nothing. So I shared these things with people, especially on this Labor Day, because so many people are changing jobs. They maybe don't want to go back to the job that they were doing. They maybe their job isn't available to them anymore. And just don't be afraid to make that change or to try something new. Like, I'd always done real estate a little bit, but when I did it full time, I mean, my job, I'm so grateful every day. So grateful that I was kind of pushed out of that nest on purpose. Even a forced change can be something good. I had recently just made another big change when I left a brokerage that was an amazing brokerage, smart, wonderful people. I went someplace that I kind of felt like I would fit in better with, that I just clicked with. When you find your people, you kind of know it. And I've taken in almost $6 million worth of business in the month that I've been at my new brokerage. Like, because I found my people. You know, never underestimate the power of an insult, the power of change, and believe in yourself. When anything starts to unravel, you never know where those threads are going to take you. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want to impress upon you to just make that change, do something different. We're so thankful to be able to work. You know, this beautiful Labor Day, I'm going to hand out a bunch of little baskets, check on people that you haven't talked to for a while. There's still a lot of loneliness and isolation going on, and we have nothing but great things ahead if we all stick together and help each other. So have a great day. Such a dork. I never watch my videos, so that's pretty funny.
That's okay.
I do know that I use my hands a lot, but it's an Italian thing, so I guess that's just in my nature. So it's like one of the first videos of mine I watched, I'm like, oh.
So Anetta, you did three things. Number one, you told people you were going to take your clients' gifts, do the pop-bys. You learned that, right? You learned that that's part of building the relationships with your homeowners that could be buyers or sellers someday. And you want to help them, and you want them to know that you are not forgetting them, that you are reminding them that you are available for them. Number two, you told other people not to be afraid to make change. So you were helping people that possibly needed to hear that from somebody, right? And then number three, you're out there doing live videos to reach people, to get engagement. So those three things you accomplished beautifully.
Yeah. And that's a great story. It's very inspiring. I didn't know that about your old bartender job. But you're absolutely right, right?
She actually just got out of rehab. So and I don't put that out there because it's like, I'm glad for him that he's getting help, but I'm like, oh yeah. And it's been, gosh, I'm 8 years, so I guess I'm not going back.
No, you're absolutely right there. Tony Robbins talks about how you need to, be grateful and thank the people that, you used to blame for not being able to achieve what you achieved because they were either mean to you, our parents or whatever. But you can either use those moments to drive you, right? Get you mad and use that dark spirit to turn into the light and push forward to something that you want. And you're a prime example of that. So fantastic. That's a great story. I'm glad you put that out there. That's pretty inspiring. Right?
And she does videos all the time. How often a week do you do them?
So I'm on my new mission, and it's October 1st. I'm doing 2 videos a day, one on my personal, one on my business, every day. So doing something real estate related and then something just Vegas related. Because besides selling real estate, I want to sell Vegas. It's the best city in the world. I moved here with every single thing I own in the backseat of my car before I could even legally drink. And Vegas has never let me starve. I'll tell you, this has been the best city to me that I could ever possibly imagine.
Right. So give us a little, just in case, the people watching, it's going to be the first time that they see you, Anetta, here. Just give us a little bit about your background, how long you've been in real estate, and then we'll go into what you're up to right now, because I like to get an update on what's happening.
I've been, I was a bartender and I was a food server for most of my life. I started fixing up my own houses 20 plus years ago before flipping was a household name. So I just kind of did it on my own and I drank the Kool-Aid. I really enjoyed it. So then I got busier and busier doing that. Then I got my contractor's license and I've done a lot of commercial and residential built from the ground up, and then rehabbed in North Dakota, Montana, and Arizona. Then I came back here and went just full tilt, all in with just doing real estate.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so now you're with Love Las Vegas Realty.
Yes.
Right? And so you said you brought 6 million, like once you transitioned over. Like, tell us a little bit about, how that came about and that business.
So, like, I'm very coachable if you connect with the coach, like most people are. So it's funny, a lot of times, like Ruth will give all this great advice, and I came back and I'm like, okay, well, I did this. She goes, you did it? I'm like, well, you told me to. And she's almost like surprised. I'm like, somebody that's taking their time, that has 50 years in the industry, that is going to take their time to tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. And at least I'm going to say, no, that didn't work out for me, or somebody else, or this is what happened. And it was just, it's follow-up and videos. Like I drank the Kool-Aid on videos before Ruth. I was in her class, but she didn't really even, we didn't have like what we have now, because I was one of like 40 people in her class. And then like the next couple of classes, she's like, well, if you're not calling people and if you're not, getting out there doing videos like I'm telling you to, don't say. And I didn't even, I'm like, she knows I'm not doing it. She didn't even know me, but I wasn't going to go back to the next class without knowing that I had money that I paid for to get coaching if I wasn't doing it. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So my first video was horrible. I must have taken it like 15 times. And then I tried to do a script, and then I started watching them, then I was never going to put it up. And then I just realized my personality is like, be all in and go live or do nothing, because I'm not going to follow a script. I'm going to get more. I sounded like an idiot trying to follow a script, and I might sound like an idiot doing it live, but at least I sound like my own kind of idiot.
Yeah, right.
Anetta, what the other thing I've been teaching in September is the purple cow theory.
Yes.
The purple cow theory. You are a purple cow to some people, and they're going to pay attention to you. You're not the normal black and white Jersey cow or whatever they're called. Anyway, you're the purple cow, and you've got your own tribe that you're over there on that east side. You promoted that restaurant that went out of business. It's a great location for another restaurant. You're always giving valuable information to people. And it's not I, me. It's about them. And that is the secret sauce right there.
That's the only reason I'm doing them. So if I'm out there promoting a salon, it's not because I just went out and got something done. I want people to know that are moving here or what a great service that is, because I fully believe we're interdependent. We're designed to be interdependent and help each other. So it's very important for me to be helpful.
Now that it's October and you start putting these on your on your business page and boosting them to California, you're going to see engagement. And when you see engagement, it's not about your followers. It's not about, your likes and things. It's the people that engage with you. Well, I guess like is kind of an engagement, but when they actually comment, you're creating a following, and you always have to answer your comments, and even go when somebody likes you, you can even go to that person who liked you and send them a message and thank them. So that's engagement. That's what it's all about, is engagement.
The follow-up.
Yeah.
So give us an update on your business, if you don't mind, Anetta.
Okay.
So we're through the third quarter already, starting the fourth quarter this year. How are we running on numbers versus last year at the same time? And what are you projecting?
I'm actually about even as far as transactions, but I upped my price point. And I took a little bit more education. I'm getting my national land designation. Okay. Because I just think land is fascinating, and I'm all about repurposing and using things that are here. So I've gotten some big listings for like big land and a lot of more commercial listings that take a lot more time, but I'm still focusing on residential on the east side mostly. So no, it's going good. Like my goal is always to get 36 a year, and
In transactions.
In transactions,
Okay.
but now I'm focusing more on the dollar point versus the amount of transactions. So
yes, take advantage of the price appreciation that's happening
the price
now.
appreciation. But my big thing is making sure that even if I'm that in your face, one call away from a restraining order person, that the people that are 400 and under, because that's a lot of the East Side houses, are knowing their options, and they're not just automatically selling to these iBuyers because it's easier. These people are literally banking on you being too lazy to get other opinions, and put it out there. So that's kind of a personal mission.
What kind of feedback are you getting from your follow-up, right? Are they saying, Anetta, you're calling me too much, or, I see you everywhere? What kind of feedback are you getting?
I get very little negative feedback because I sit down with a mindset and I've learned this from Buffini and from Ruth and from everything else. I know I'm helping people because I know where my intentions lie. So you get the occasional realtors, you all suck. I'm like, I know I have to work with them. How do you think I feel? I kind of try to spin it around, I get it. And I'm a homeowner and I'm an investor, and I've also lived in my house 20 years. So I'm my own worst client. So I respect that you don't want to move, but when the time comes, please think of me. I'm the neighborhood expert. So it even if it starts out like negative or a little bit rough, it always kind of turns around. I send in people that call me and say, take me off their mailing list. I send them a thank you card for letting me know to take them off. First of all, because I'm not wasting money, because I don't want to bother anybody.
Right.
Sometimes depending on the price point, I think, I'm sorry I bothered you. Have a coffee on me. I'll send like a Starbucks, one free coffee thing in there.
Right. So tell us a little bit about how you structure, scheduling and actually executing is one of the most hardest things that, the reason why Ruth is surprised when, she tells you or anybody to do something and they actually do it is because she knows the statistics around that, right? Maybe less than 1% or 3% or whatever of people who actually listen to any type of recommendation or advice or any training actually go out and execute right away. Or execute, period. To execute it right away, it's even a smaller group of people. So tell us a little bit, how do you schedule out your day, your week, so that you can do all the things necessary to build your business the way you have?
So there's so many things I want to do. I get a busy brain, and then a lot of the technology, I've got to learn it as it comes up, and I get frustrated because I'm slow at learning it. So I've just scheduled the 2 hours a day to learn that, anything that I don't know, or keep mastering what I do and making it better. And then after those 2 hours, I just stop. Otherwise, it'll take you down the rabbit hole and you don't get anything else done. So this is a line I stole from somebody on Tom Ferry's. It wasn't mine, but it's a really good one. I do have tremendous discipline. So discipline will carry you when motivation can't. So I'm motivated to get this done, but I'm also disciplined because my goal, I wake up every day unemployed. So my goal is to find a job. So that's what I remind myself. If I were looking for a job, I would go out every day for 8 hours a day and look for a job like I had a job. That would be my job. So my job every day is to master my craft, add value, and then get new business, because I feel like the more I master it and the more I really know that I'm helping people, the business comes, because when they ask me a question, I'm not I know. And then you know more than you think you do. That's what's always exciting to me. Is when they ask me something, I'm like, oh, I know this. I can help you.
Right. So are you the write everything out in a daily calendar, weekly planner, or manage every minute of your day, or are you just putting chunks of time to do specific tasks? How are you actually managing that time?
I manage the time. So I have a calendar that I put here. If you could see this way, you'd see these whiteboards that are in front of me. So I've remodeled my office. So my goals are in front of me and my accomplishments are behind me. So anytime something, it's easy to forget that you've ever done anything good when something happens. So I always think that your accomplishments are at your back, but right in front of me, it's everything that I need to do. And then I also carry it in paper. I don't go digital. I have kind of switched some things over into the technology digital side of it, but I block out. So in the mornings up until, 11:30, 12 o'clock, that's for nothing but follow up and new business in the night. So I have that very structured. And then some days I follow it to the letter, and then some days not so much. But it's like every day I start out with that, because things come up in all of our days. So I have that plan in place.
So all your follow-ups in the morning and call-outs are in the morning.
Yes, first thing, before anybody takes me down the rabbit hole.
All right, and then what happens in the afternoons?
I could look for new business. I'll do that's when sometimes I'll take appointments. I stop taking appointments in the morning, because if you take an appointment at 10 o'clock, you're really at 8:30, then you're done. And then it's like your whole morning is gone. Then you come in the afternoon. So, even if I want to go I'll come over right now, and it's hard, or sometimes when somebody calls you and has that emergency that everybody has sometimes daily, I'll be like, absolutely, I'll be there at 1 o'clock. So I've refocused that you can absolutely count on me at 12:03. But till 12 o'clock, I'm focusing on, because I'm unemployed. It's like, don't you want me to get a job today? I was going to, somebody gives me a hard time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a job. Oh, okay.
Great. So, show us a little bit of some of your goals. That's an important thing to be able to keep focus and moving forward. So what are your goals for maybe the fourth quarter or going into 2022 now?
So of course, I'm still focusing on right now. I want to finish this year strong. I have a listing appointment today at 1:30. I'm super thankful for. I have an open house tomorrow. My goal is still 36. I haven't got there, and I'm almost offended that I haven't done that. But it's a learning point. I took a step to the left and I bounced with the right. So I'm going to finish this strong. I'll probably have 6 more sales by December.
Okay.
Probably eight actually, because I've got 4 listings. So my goal is to have 8 by December, and that's good. 8 transactions. And then going into next year, I want a solid in the first quarter. I'm going to get to my 36 number.
In the first quarter?
I'm going to be on 4 months. I'm going to be on target.
On target, okay.
I'm going to be on target to get with the higher price point that I've now implemented.
Yeah.
So.
And do you have a dollar amount goal?
I do, but I'm not there. I'm not going to say it.
You're not. What is the goal? And we don't have to say where you're at, but what is the goal for 2022?
Higher than what it is now.
Fair enough.
I will never be that luxury listing person. I don't want those, but I do want to be somewhere I like the older houses that are like the Rancho Bel Air Estates, the ones these have tennis courts and sconce 80s. I love those houses. So they're in, between the higher price point, and that's going to be my new.
Right.
The beauty about what you're saying, Anetta, is so many of the remodels and what people are doing is the sterile white, gray, it's trending right now.
They're beautiful. I get it.
They're clean, they're sterile, but there's nothing like the charm and the character of these older homes. And we don't have anything sterile in our house. It's all color, and that's what we like. And I know that there's a lot of other people that like that as well. So all these new modern homes they're building, I think that you're creating a really good niche if that's what you're going to do for your, all of your listings and sales. And that's a great niche.
And I love the older homes. So you can't walk in and not be like, and the high ceilings, but it's like everything has its time. So a lot of these people have lived there for a really long time, and the energy in a house is amazing. So it's like they need to go on to the next stage of their life. If you're living in a 5-bedroom house and you haven't been upstairs in a year because you sleep on your chair, let's get a family in there to repurpose that house and get that new energy going. And then they can remodel it their way. And it's just exciting to see that transformation. So everything has its time.
Right. Yeah. Is there a lot of activity on the east side now? It's like that older part of Vegas and a little bit older homes.
Yeah. So it depends on your price point. So getting somebody to spend that $750,000, $800,000 in an older home on the east side, it takes a little bit longer, but then you get this huge chunk of land. You're right here, you're centrally located. So it really just depends. That's when your target marketing comes into play. Ruthie said that a lot of realtors, they do the 3 Ps. They put it on the MLS, they put up a sign, and then they pray. Well, you can't do that on the east side. You have to really make sure you could give them a chance to come in and see that house. And once they do, they're like,
Right.
So,
So yeah, I'm curious too, because, in being a consumer, right, the east side of town has always been like, not the best part of towns, the older homes, but also it's just the communities are much older and more run down. All right. So tell us a little bit about, sell us on a little bit why the east side is a, place for who's the right, who's the right audience, right? Or who's the right buyer for an east side home.
Okay, so the right buyer is somebody that wants a little bit more land, no HOA. So for everything you get, you give up something. So if you don't have an HOA, so every so often you may have that one neighbor that's going to get on your nerves. So you're going to go and you talk to them and be like, yeah, you can't work on your 10 cars or you can't do stuff. So there's downsides. But you're going to have a bigger lot generally. Your taxes are a little bit different. You can really go in and make it your own. You're also centrally located. Like right here where I'm over on the Flamingo Pecos area. And like nothing is more than 20 minutes out of my way. I've got the 215, I've got the 95, I've got Lake Mead, 10 minutes from the airport, 15 minutes from the strip. So what your lifestyle is like and where you want to go. There's traffic minding, 30 minutes. There's no place I can't get to in Vegas in 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it's almost, I call it like Midtown now. It's not even East Side anymore because everything's gotten so big. We're like right here in the center.
Maybe you should try to rebrand it.
Yeah,
Midtown.
So, and then like also that. Again, it's like right here too. We had so many pieces of vacant land. They're building new construction right next to a 30-year-old house. So there's like a weird eclectic mix of new, old, yours, mine, and ours. And anywhere in Vegas, no matter where you are, you're never more than 20 minutes away from $1 million house. We have a very odd geographical planning, but you're never more than 20 minutes away. So you kind of, for the smaller houses, it's great because you can ride those coattails of the bigger houses and get that higher comp. And then you can also, have that big piece of land for yourself if that's what you want.
All right. How far are you away from like Sunrise Mountain area?
15 minutes.
Okay.
20 minutes. I'm over in Paradise Crest.
Got it. Okay. And Sunrise Mountain's probably more north from you, right?
Right. And I have a gorgeous piece of land there that I just sold, and they're building $3 million houses like right on it, like half-acre lots, overlooks the city. It's really beautiful.
There's a pocket right in Sunrise Mountain with like custom homes. There's like a French purple house. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like there's some like lot of character homes on that side in this little pocket. That's really nice. That no one knows about here in Vegas.
I didn't even know this. So one of my clients now, and I'm selling his home in Paradise Crest. He was Barrow Canyon. He was the builder of Barrow Canyon. And I'd never even heard of that. And he took me up there, and now Google it afterwards. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like literally he built into the side of the mountain and you overlook. It's the best view I've ever seen. It's amazing. I've got to go take a video last weekend, and I was looking at him. I'm like, oh, you did it. Like it was amazing. It's just a beautiful house. I would have never known about it. And that's up on Sunrise Mountain. It's just like literally built right into the side of the wall. It's amazing.
Fantastic. Well, so yeah, check out the East Side or Midtown now. With Anetta.
Yeah.
So are you still what's your focus on from a marketing standpoint? Which platform? You use primarily Facebook? Which platforms do you use?
I do. So Facebook has been really I like it for business. And now I don't, people that go in there and put out all their business in the street, that's not what it's for. Social media was designed to help each other pass along good information, pass along, oh my gosh, try this great restaurant, try these things. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I'm big on Facebook. I do LinkedIn. Yeah, not so much Instagram. It's just because, at some point in time, something's got to give. I do my geo farming, and I've been focusing on working by referrals. Other thing, that's my big focus this next year. I'm taking the 100 Days to Greatness. I'm doing Buffini coaching, and I'm really excited about that.
And I'll add something to your plate, Anetta.
Okay.
Facebook just came out with Reels.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just appeared started yesterday. I saw it a lot yesterday.
Yeah. So one of the things that Tom Ferry had a show with his social media guru. Her name's Courtney. And Courtney said that in order to really step up your engagement and your attention is you should be doing 2 to 5 29-second videos on stories. And then I'm going to get the stats on what we should be doing on Reels. Just telling everybody something a little bit about what you're doing. But again, not about me, because that's where people get, they don't get the engagement. It's, you're always doing things. You're always learning things. Just take 29 seconds, not more than that, and always put text on it. And it doesn't have to be live. Right? You can batch them and then you can put them up there. If you want to batch a couple on Sunday so that you have some material for Monday through Friday or whatever, you can do that. But do text. Music is huge. So you go on Google and you find out the trending music. And then what's the neat thing is that you can actually lower the sound, so it's not too loud, especially if you're talking. But then if you're talking, you always want to put on the photo or the video, the text, the punchline of what you're saying. So that's the secrets of doing good stories, and it'll be the same with Reels.
Now, interesting.
Does the music come with the stories on Facebook?
Yes.
It does, right? So you
yeah.
don't have to worry about licensing or any of that stuff.
Right.
Because sometimes, because they'll block you sometimes on music.
No, but they won't give you the option of things you can't use. But you go and you find out what's trending, and then when you do your story,
interesting.
You search for it, and you'll know right away whether or not, if it's trending, it's obvious that it's probably okay to use.
Mm-hmm.
Or wouldn't trend.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think that Ruth, the selection is in the story on Facebook itself. It's not like you're going and recording and then editing into music into your video. It's actually available on Facebook.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So like when you're working out, you can say, I'm doing my workout and I'm thinking about all the things that maybe you can give a tip, but people see you as a person working out. They don't need to hear all the things you're doing. They need to think, because then people, that's a turn off, because it's a me thing. So you want to say, it's a time for me to do my workout. And I'm listening to, Ruth talk about this and we're going to go and do Popeyes today. And, things like that tell people what you're doing or information for them.
Yeah, well, I'm all about sharing information because I'm really not that interesting. I always tell people, I don't want to be.
I don't know about that, Anetta. You don't give yourself enough credit here.
For sure.
You're spicy Italian, right?
That is true. Yeah, there's no question. I do know that in my videos I talk with my hands because some people say that.
I didn't even notice it until you actually said it. It's actually natural for people to talk with their hands.
I do it all the time.
Exactly right. It would be unnatural if you. Can you imagine? It would be unnatural if you didn't move your hands when you talk. That would be like weird. So, we appreciate you coming on, Anetta, and we look forward to having you back to giving us some more updates on your progress, especially with where you're at right now with the new broker you're with. And any last words for the audience before we end the show with some what's going on in training this week?
No, just share, if you have a new place, share 5 new places with somebody, because all the people that are moving here, there's things that they just don't know, and help small businesses. So if anybody that's watching, that is their homework for the next week, is just to share a restaurant, a salon, somewhere they got good experience, because so often, nobody shares anything but bad stuff. If some employee did something really good, be like, oh my gosh. So Apple over at Pearl, I cracked under the pressure. It's Pearl on Sunset, and it's a Thai restaurant, and it's so good. And every time I go there, she remembers my name. Her name is Apple. The food is amazing. Even if I pull up, they'll bring it out to me to takeaway. I don't even call. They just know my truck, and they remember you. And it's just this small little place. So, that's the type of personal business service that everybody should go there because it's good food, it's good service, and it's great prices. So that's my plug for today. Now, everybody else can go and do one more.
And Anetta?
Ping pong, I'm sorry.
You and I are going to do your business plan for next year.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
So I have the draft. I'm changing some of the numbers around, and we are going to go through it. So
okay.
I'm excited.
Super.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Fantastic.
Everybody have a good Saturday.
Yeah.
And you brought up 100 Days to Greatness, and that starts October the 7th at 8400 West Sahara. You can also Zoom. We're going to allow people to Zoom in this season. It's 100 days is 14 weeks, 2 hours a week with homework assignments. And most of the people, and Brian Buffini will tell you, that do this end up making over 200,000 a year. It's not a guarantee. It's just kind of what happens. And then even there's another percentage that does over 300,000 a year just by following the systems and strategies and keeping yourself on point like you do, Anetta. And I have all the faith in the world that you're going to be way over what you project. Because it just starts to snowball. Anyway, and then Monday we have the negotiating class from 10 to 1. That's for 3 CE credits. Jimmy Dague, he is a fantastic instructor on all fronts, but in negotiating is one of his, he threads that into most of his classes because it's so important. That's one of the biggest skills that a real estate agent needs to have. And, forget the 3 Ps, right? Put a sign up, put it in the MLS and pray. No, your biggest job is negotiating, negotiating for the best price for the best terms for your seller and or your buyer. So it's a great class. I'm just pitching it because he does a fantastic job. And there's so many different techniques of negotiating. And the secret is knowing the person that you're negotiating to or for. And it's just a great class, and sign up at be.vegas for that class. And for the 100 Days to Greatness, starts October 7th at 10 o'clock for 2 hours. That's it.
All right.
And I'll be
there.
Love
All
you
right.
too.
Thanks again, Anetta, for coming
have an
on.
amazing Saturday.
Yeah. Everybody have a great week, and tune in on Monday, 9 a.m. for
Raiders.
Ruth. Yes.
Yes,
Go Raiders.
go Raiders.
Go Raiders.